process of starting your own business? Ever thought about it but just haven't started? Whether you are a seasoned professional or just kicking off your dream of becoming an independent business owner, you are invited to join us for this incredible journey. Discover and become a part of this diverse group of women who aim to support, inspire, uplift, and encourage like-minded women just like you within our Lady Preneur-100 community. We're going to remove for you the mystique of entrepreneurship, show you how to increase your leads, effectively market your business, and teach you how to build a powerful strategic alliance. You can find us on Facebook by going to the IB Network or by visiting us at our website, www.successradio.us. You can also find our show on TuneIn Radio by searching for the Lady Preneur-100 Show. That's Lady Preneur-100. Be sure to follow us there. Today on successradio.us. I am your Ladypreneur, Kym Welton, and I have three very special guests today. I have the incredible John Moultrie, I have Ari Spearman, and I have Adrian Mota. And I brought them into the studio today because I know inquiring minds want to know why the Millennial Generation and entrepreneurship. We're going to go into some questions that I've had, and we're going to talk a little bit about venture philanthropy. And, you know, as I've started my business recently, I want to talk about, you know, what is the driver for this Millennial Generation to be considered the biggest entrepreneurial generation of all the generations and previous generations. I'm going to start kicking it off right here with our incredible friend, John Moultrie. Go ahead and tell us about yourself, John.
How we doing, everybody? I'm John Moultrie. I'm originally here. I was brought up in Colorado Springs, and I was born in Oklahoma. So, but Springs is all I really know. So, coming up from not, single mother household, and right. And it was hard, growing up. Like, we didn't have too many luxuries of being able to go out and do a lot of things, and that cost money. So we kind of just made it work. And the biggest driver I've seen was my mom and her work ethic and how hard she worked to provide for us and our family. So that automatically set the tone for me. Like, whatever it is that I do, I need to work hard at it. So and then just growing up in Colorado Springs area, I seen a lot of people that were successful were mostly like the owners. So like the kind of lifestyle that I wanted and wanted to provide for the friends and family would be to own something to be able to give back. So
I think that's great. I mean, and one of the things that I hear most frequently is that young people like yourselves watch their parents work hard. And I know your mom is from Germany. Yep. Right? Your mom is from Germany, and your father, was he in the military?
Yeah, he was in the military.
And moved here and your mom moved here, and she raised 4 children?
5 of us.
Five children.
5 children.
So there's 5 children this mom has taken on, and you've watched her hustle and provide and buy a home. And you know what I'm saying? And it's incredible because you've watched an example of an incredible work ethic, and you've seen what it takes to get by.
Right, absolutely.
2 things can be taken from observing our parents, right? I'm going to do exactly what they do, or I'm going to make it just a little bit better for all of us.
Absolutely.
Right? And is that what you saw?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I seen. I seen like the terms that she had to deal with and everything. So I know like to how to put myself in just a little bit of a better situation at a younger age, but also grow off of her and her examples that she made, no matter what life throws at you, like to keep pushing, and you can do it. She just bought a home this last year, so it's hers. Yeah, so it's amazing.
So that's got to be great for you and your siblings to watch your mom's success through the years.
Most definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
All right, Ari, tell us about yourself, hon.
My name is Ariel Spearman. I was raised here in Colorado, but I'm from Long Island, New York. Single mom as well. She raised 4 of us beautiful children. And just same as John said, you know, watching her grind and watching her put forth all the effort just to make sure that we had lights, we had food, you know. And the biggest thing for me was seeing my mom dedicate all of her time to one career for 17 years, and for them to just let her go without even thinking about us kids or thinking about what she was going to do after the fact. And, you know, now I'm a single mom as well, and I'm just grinding just to show my son that, you know, life is what you make it. You know, it's the mindset. You don't have to just settle. You don't have to just live a mediocre life, you know, and it's all about what you want and how you're willing to go out and get it.
That's right.
So that's a little bit about me.
And so you're here from Colorado Springs?
Yes, ma'am.
Colorado Springs.
I went to Sierra High School. I played volleyball for Sierra High School for 4 years.
John, where'd you go to high school?
I went to Mitchell.
Do we have a little bit of a rivalry there?
Just a little bit. Not too much. You know, we didn't really. Ours was the Thunderbirds, you know, at Wasson High School.
Okay.
So, we were against Harrison Panthers.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And Adrian, okay, we've got the incredible Adrian Moda, who half of Colorado Springs already knows. But go ahead and tell us about yourself, Adrian.
Hey, well, thank you so much, Kym, for having me on the show. But a little bit about myself is I was born and raised here in Colorado Springs. Really, I didn't do much traveling. I mean, I have a lot of family in California and in Oklahoma, but this is my home, so I've been here for a while. Grew up going to a charter school, went to Cheyenne Mountain High School here in town. But I actually lived in District 11. I should have went to the school that John went to. But my mother always wanted me to go to, I guess, a little bit higher educational school, so I did that. Right. So really, you know, my life growing up, I watched my parents just work jobs. I mean, my father's a chef, amazing chef. So I always had good food at home. My mother kind of, you know, she would clean homes, and now she's an accountant, so I watched her kind of just work for herself. But I guess what drove me to want to do my own business was I liked being my own boss, controlling my life, and I saw how my father dedicated so much time and effort at his job, and it just made him tired, gave him even more problems later on in life. And I was just like, you know what? I want something better for my life and my family and my future family and my current family, like my parents. So I was like, you know what? Need to take the road less traveled. So I decided to start my own business, and it's been cool. Been watching you guys mentor me, and it's been great. It's been a great journey. Just super excited about helping other families, and also just being a role model to our generation. Because I feel like that's a big thing that they're lacking nowadays. Is just that who do we look up to, and you know who do we follow. And I think us leading by the front and just being like, hey, you know, you can be whatever you want to be as long as you're willing to put in the work and the effort. I think that's huge in our generation nowadays. Absolutely. But that's just a little bit about myself. Don't want to talk too much about that. I could talk all day, I guess.
Well, let's talk really about the entrepreneurial mindset, right? So we have the greatest generation, which is the World War II generation, and then we had the baby boomers right after that, right? So we know that the greatest generation, they were the veterans, and their wives had to step in and start to work. And since then, every generation of women had to kind of kick it up and get out in the workforce. So the baby boomers was really the last generation of women staying at home and taking care of the stuff at home while the men were out. Then you have my generation, which was really the people getting into the workforce and the executives and kind of kicking it up. And you guys have witnessed our generation. Right. And we hustle, we're gone all day, we're trying to do everything, and you're kind of taking a look at it like, wow, I don't know if I want to do that. Right? Is that what you guys have seen over the last in your experience.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, part of that too is like just going back to what I was saying about my father. It's like I've always known my father to be the hardest worker in my life. I mean, he worked in the kitchen. I would say 60 hours a week at least, and he would come home, and then he would also do some catering jobs. We're a Hispanic family, so he'd make tamales, and he'd sell that in town. Right. He still does that, and I'd watch him do that and work so hard, and then just never get ahead in life. And so there's something missing there, and I guess that's where a lot of our generation is too, and I'm pretty sure you guys could speak a little bit more on that, but it's just that, you see your parents working so hard at a job, and then as the years go on, you end up finding, like, hey, things aren't as pretty as they used to be, right? I remember when we were growing up, like, probably 5 or 6, you'd look at a $100 bill, you'd like, oh, shoot, that's the best thing, right? A $100 bill. But you get older, you're like, man, this really doesn't buy you anything, right? I mean, Nikes cost more than $100 nowadays. So I guess it goes back to that same thing, is that, watching that generation just work hard. Yeah, we understand that hard work is necessary, but it has to be in the right vehicle. I mean, Ari, like, what would you say on that? Like, what would you have to add on that?
Well, let's come back to that after this short break. We're going to go ahead and take a very quick break. But I'm excited to hear from you guys. I got to be honest, you're enlightening, and everything that you're hearing. I've got kids at home, so I want to hear every single thing that you guys have to say. So listeners, don't go away.
Listening to Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Success Radio USA is committed to helping you achieve a positive daily approach to your success each and every day. Thank you for listening.
Success Radio USA.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed, whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club.
And for listening to Lady Preneur-100, I'm here with 3 incredible millennial entrepreneurs, and we are just talking about what is your driver. And we had Adrian talking about watching his dad being an entrepreneur for the majority of his life, and then Ari was going to share, what she saw in the way of the previous generation and work, and what really was the driver for you to be an entrepreneur, Ari.
So, like I mentioned before, I'm one of 4 from a single mom. She worked 17 years for one company. And the entire time I could remember us waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, going to daycare and not seeing mom until 6, the sun's going down. Yeah. And that was a killer for me, especially with 2 younger siblings, an older sister. Everybody has sports, everybody has athletics, and mom's not there, and we understood why she wasn't there, but it felt like we deserved better. She deserved to be there for us, not just to be the one to provide and pay the bills and make sure that we had lights. She deserved to see us grow. She deserved to see us, go to all of our volleyball games, go to our basketball games, and for that was my driver. You know, I have a son, and I'm going to every event. I'm going to make sure that I'm at every school function. I'm going to make sure that he sees that just because I'm working and just because I'm building something, he doesn't have to sacrifice. And that's the one thing that has separated me from just over broke to being able to build my own and have my own flexibility, have my own, you know, life with my family. Just like Adrian mentioned, you know, family is important, but when you don't get to spend time with that family, how important is that job? How important is that, you know, going to work every single day when you don't get to spend anything extra with the people that you care about? You're working for these people, but then they don't even get to see you, you know? So that's what prompted me to, I've got to do something different. I'm not going to settle and just for a job. I'm not going to settle to be away from my family just because I need the money. No, there's got to be another way. And there is. You start your own business.
You want to work so many years so that you have something to give to your children, right? That's what we call a legacy, creating something. And I've seen so many people, especially in previous career, that they work for 30, 40 years just to get to a point in their life where they're so-called retired, but then who wants to have a good time when you're 60 and 65 and not hating on the 60, 65-year-old? But I mean, we should live a full life, right? Not just the last years of our lives. And I got to say, the millennial generation has really kind of opened up our eyes. I've done a lot of research on your generation. And just knowing the young people that I know that are building businesses, it's a testimony to, I mean, anybody can live the life that they want. Right. But there's fear. There's people that don't support. Right? And let's talk about school for a minute. Let's talk about the public school system, which you all were a part of, right? And how many of them said, you got to go to college, and how many of them said, you need to go build a business and own your life? You know, how many of your teachers said, go build a business?
None of my teachers, that was anything like that they were teaching us to do. Like, they weren't telling us, like, hey, you know, you need to go and do something for yourself. You need to go, and that's how you're going to have the lifestyle that you want, like that you see in movies and et cetera, right? You know, obviously you got to work hard for it. So with being in school, you know, a lot of things were just given to us, right? You know, coming from Mitchell, I honestly feel like I didn't have a lot of accountability to actually push myself to go harder. You know, it was a little bit more, you know, and I feel due to some of the areas and the mindset of others, you know, like that was the reason why it had to be. But, you know, there wasn't anybody pushing us like, oh, you can, you know, there was a select few teachers that were like, you know, keep pushing. I was a football player. I actually did play college football. So there was a couple teachers in the building that were supportive of that and were like, hey, you know, as long as you keep working hard at that, you're going to take that really far. And, you know, I was able to, you know, I was blessed to make it to the next level to go and play. But even then, you know, still the teachers in college, even they weren't, you know, it was more independent work. You had to go do it. They're not going to hold your hand through it. So that kind of pushed us to like, you know, you got to hold yourself accountable for this now. Right. So having that kind of experience was a little bit better, but it was still like, it still wasn't like, hey, you know, they can't really teach us how to be entrepreneurs because they're not themselves. Right. So, you know, I had to seek that out somewhere else. And so with school, it didn't ever do that for me.
And I think college is great, and I think it is absolutely needed, especially in certain circumstances. But we don't spend enough time fostering entrepreneurship. Like maybe those kids who are undecided and they don't know if they want to go to college, maybe if you put a little spark in there about what if you started your own business, the opportunities now are vast. Right? There's so many things. And I am a firm believer in public school. My kids are in public school. I just feel that the socialization that they get, the sports are, you know, they're on a different level when you're in public school. I am a firm believer that kids need to be in public school. That's just me. They learn how to overcome so many things because the world is pretty tough, right? And so when you're trying to start your business and you have a little bit of thick skin, it kind of comes in handy. Right?
There's a lot of people who doubt, and, you know, because it's something new, something different they never experienced before. You know, they got something to say. But at the end of the day, they don't know what I know. They don't do what I do. So
and they haven't seen what you've seen.
They haven't seen it. Nope. So
one of the things I know that you guys are exposed to are you're really putting yourselves in circles the right type of influence.
Oh, yeah.
Right, making better decisions. I know that you two work late at night. I know Ari's working 24/7 just to build a market, and there's so many different things that you could be doing. You can be making bad decisions.
Yeah.
You could be,
playing video games.
And playing video games, maybe drinking to excess. And then, you know what I'm saying? But I love that I've seen a change in you guys and who you're hanging out with, how you dress, how you speak. You know, talk about that change a little bit and how that came. Adrian, we'll start with you.
Cool. Well, I guess for me, it was just kind of growing up in that, because I started coming to the office that I'm in now when I was 16. So just kind of being molded by people who were professionals and everything. So I started to take my dress a little bit sharper at that age, kind of like, you know, stepping it up. I'd go to high school. Some people are watching this. I'd go to high school and I'd be in an all button shirt and then, you know, have really nice shoes on. And people were like, "Why are you dressed so nice?" Like, I don't know. That's just what you're supposed to do, right? You know, how you want to be successful. But for me, it was just like kind of being molded by that environment. But I think what's cool is that, I mean, I've known John. I mean, Kym and I, we've known John now for a little bit. And it's cool. Like, we were just talking about it before we started. I met John in 2017 in December, so about a year ago. And where he's come now from where he was, it's not like he was in a bad spot. It's just the changes that he's made over the years, like, you know, over the year, that the dressing and everything like that. You know, how you carry yourself, like that. That is way bigger than mine, I guess you'd say, right? Like, but I don't know. It's just cool. Like, when you're in a good environment and people around you are doing well, and you're around a circle of people that you could look up to, that where you want to be, you just start to follow. You follow them and follow their example, the way they dress, the way they react in certain areas, the way they talk, right? I mean, sometimes I find myself doing hand gestures like Tom in the office, and it's like, man, that's not. It's like just because I see it all the time,
right?
And it's cool. It's I don't know. It's like monkey see, monkey do. But if you're following success, you know, you might as well do what successful people do. Absolutely. And if that's dressing, you know, nice, that's talking a lot better, you know, doing the things, waking up early, staying up late, and not staying up late for the wrong reasons, right? You know, I gave up video games years ago just because it was a waste of time. You know, that's not what successful people do. I mean, they do that after all the work is done, right? And they probably still don't do it anyways, because it's like, that's a waste of time, usually in some areas. So I just say, you know, the environment you're in is just so important, because that could really mold you and develop you into the person you are. But yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
What do you say, John, when somebody says, "Man, you've changed too much"?
When they ask me if I've changed too much,
man, you changed.
I just tell them, like, I just grew up. I didn't change. I just matured. You know, a lot of people know me from a year ago. People know me from more than a year ago. And, you know, they can see the change as well. And it's nothing bad. Like, I don't want anybody freaking out like, oh, you know, you're being, you know, it's just a lot of things that I want to do that, you know, some of the people that I hang out with aren't to that mental yet, right? So, but like, as far as change of clothes, like, I feel like I've always been a pretty stylish person, you know, but it's like it's been a different kind of style. Like, it was more like baggy and, you know, just, you know, I wanted to wear what all my friends were wearing. And, you know, I didn't really look like, if you seen me on the street today, you wouldn't come up to me and be like, hey, you know, like, he's going to be successful. He's going to be the kind of guy I want to be. Right. So, and then, but I've always loved to dress up, like football, like for football games, for wrestling events. We've always dressed up, you know, nice. And I felt so great on those days. And then, you know, taking it to like the baggy pants again, you know, so, but like just this last year has been crazy, like growth wise for me. Like, I've experienced a lot more in this last year of just self growth. Like, it's been amazing. Like, and I thought college was like the best year of my life, but this after college has been the best year of my life, as far as growing and educating myself on a lot more things that really are important. And, you know, dressing, like, you know, I look up to Tom, like he has a good, he has a good sense of style.
That shoe game going.
Yeah, and his shoe game is, and then yours as well, like the heels.
Who taught him?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? But so, you know, just seeing that, I'm like, yup, I'm dressing like them, because like, that's how, the way that you guys are, the way that you guys have, you know, blessed us, you know, like, I'm like, I need to be like them. So the changing of my dress, I don't leave the house with, you know, girls on my shirt anymore, or baggy pants. Like it's kind of weird to me now. Like I want tighter fitting. Yeah, right. I want tighter fitting pants, and like I want to look presentable. And like any point in time, people are gonna come up to me like, hey. You look great. Like you look awesome. You look sharp.
Right.
Yeah, somebody that they would like to talk to, because I am an entrepreneur. So the biggest thing I have is myself.
That's right.
So,
and Ari, we'll take the last couple of minutes before commercial and tell us about, the influence that you want your son, Saran, a gifted basketball player, to see when he looks at you. What's the influence on your daily basis that you want him to see?
Basically, I just want him to see that, when you have heart and you have confidence and you go hard and you believe in yourself, anything is possible.
Yes,
especially with the Saran, and shout out to the Rising Stars. They're an awesome, amazing club. But for him being a premature and being so small, he was always facing people telling him, you're not going to make it. You're not going to be a basketball player. You're too small. You're too this. You're too that. You're too this. And as a mom, you have to teach your children to have a positive mindset. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks.
Right.
All that matters is what you think. All that matters is how you feel, because our mindset controls our actions. Our mindset controls the choices that we make and the things that we believe in. And the one thing that I want my son to know is you're a king. You're a god. And it doesn't matter what anybody else around you says or feels, because as long as your mindset feels that way, everything else is not irrelevant. It's
That's
irrelevant.
what we're talking about here. This is single mom, incredible entrepreneur. Don't go away. We're gonna go to our Facebook Live and give shout outs to all of our watchers. Don't go away.
Success Radio USA is always looking for ways to help you succeed. Whether it's offering a word of encouragement or sharing practical information that can give you the competitive edge. So you'll want to pay close attention to this. Our new sponsor, the 365 Grand Club, can give you the edge when conducting business in downtown Colorado Springs. You might want to entertain a potential client or just show appreciation to a loyal business partner. Either way, your new 365 Grand Club card is your passport to downtown Colorado Springs. Your club card gives you access to discounts, business perks, making new business connections, and the convenient private concierge service that makes getting around town hassle-free. Enjoy the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by visiting www.365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Get yours this week and join the club, the 365 Grand Club. You're listening to Lady Preneur-100 on Success Radio USA, part of the Internet Broadcasting Network. You can find and follow your favorite shows on TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify Podcast, iTunes, Internet Radio, Spreaker, and SoundCloud. Just search for your favorite shows by name and be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast Thank you for listening and sharing with your friends and coworkers, and thanks for supporting Success Radio
Welcome back. I'm your host, Kym Welton of the Lady Preneur-100 show. And I got to tell you, I've been so excited putting this show together. I get to hear from some of the greatest millennial entrepreneur minds I've ever come across. These superstars stand out. And I tell you, everywhere they go, they have an amazing influence and impact. They're also the leaders of the Young Entrepreneur Club of Colorado Springs. We'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. But more importantly, let's give a shout out, shall we? We've got some folks that are are watching right now. Let's go through and see who's watching. My incredible better half, Tom Welton. Of course, he's there. We've got Elizabeth Mota. Thank you for watching. Kyle Petty Sr., another extraordinary entrepreneur. And Zeke Madrid. What's up, Zeke? Everybody's Zeke. We know Zeke. Andrea Wacker. Oh, my gosh. Legal Shield, expertise, an incredible woman. And one of the ladies that I look up to as an entrepreneur, Chris Zalewski. Of course, he's amazing. He's expecting a baby girl any day now, so keep them in your prayers, both Chris and Sky Zalewski. Carol Molchin of Arbonne, thank you for joining us today. Yolanda Maravilla, a wonderful lady who's doing so much in our community for the homeless, making sure that the homeless are fed. Ragamuffins Ministries is what she is out there helping with. So please feel free to reach out to her. We've got Jordan Cronland. It looks like a friend of yours, John.
Yeah,
give
Jordan,
him a shout out,
Jordan, man. I appreciate you tuning in with us this morning, man.
That's what's up. We got Mike X Elliott. Thank you for joining us today. And of course, Evan Lipford is watching. Thanks for tuning in, Mike Williams, another fabulous, extraordinary leader in the community. We love you, Mike. We love you and your babies, Kyle, all of you guys. And of course, we've got some other listeners tuning in. And I got to tell you, this is so exciting being able to watch this program grow because of guests like yourself. Let's go ahead. I know you gave a very quick shout out, but talk a little bit more about Saran's basketball team.
Well, my son plays for the Rising Stars. Shout out to the Rising Stars Fountain Basketball Club. They are phenomenal. And what they're doing is they're building on these youth. They're showing the youth that there's more to life than just video games and nonsense. You know, they're really giving these kids the opportunity to do something better with their life. And just, I really want to thank them, because without the Rising Stars program, I don't know where Saran and I would be, right now. Especially with his dream being in the NBA, and all they do is just build up his mindset and build up his skill level. And I just have to thank them for that. And I really do want to reach out and say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to the Rising Stars Fountain program.
Very cool. Thanks for doing that. And I know they're going to appreciate that as well. We have another gentleman tuning in, Andres Pianado. It looks like it says, "Go
Andres,
Big John," right
Andres,
there.
Man, what's up, man?
What's up,
man? Hey, I appreciate you tuning in, man. He's another guy out here young and hungry to go after what he wants as well. So
that's what it is about, man. This is about influence and it's about impact, and I'm so grateful again to have you guys here. I'm going to read something that I pulled off from Forbes, and it says only 13% of survey respondents, which were the Millennial Generation, said their career goal involves climbing the corporate ladder to become a CEO or president. Mm-hmm. By contrast, almost 2/3, which is 67%, said that their goal involves starting their own business. So do you think that you're doing the right thing at the right time?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I think the resources available to you are abundant. I think there's so much out there. And as I know you guys are growing in your YEC and getting out there, where they can find you on meetup.com. Meetup.com. So all of I think we even posted this event on there. And you guys are going to be, starting up some groups and networking, some intentional networking, not just, trying to pass business cards around. Right. Adrian, since you were the founder, go ahead and talk to us a little bit about that and what your vision is for the YEC and its growth and development.
Well, I guess the vision is to have a community of obviously millennials who can get together and not feel out of place, right? I guess one of the things that we have, and I guess it goes back to communication, is millennials are probably not the best at communication in terms of on the phone and talking in person. We much rather do stuff over social media and through texting, and that's okay to a point, but I think it also makes us feel a little secluded or a little by ourselves. And so there's a lot of millennials, like we know, that have this desire to do big things, that have a desire to be their own boss, be an entrepreneur, but they feel a little out of place because nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. And so I wanted this to be an environment where millennials can get together to meet other like-minded entrepreneurs, so that you can network, help them build their business, they help you build yours, because what I do isn't what other people might do, right? And so they may have resources that I need, I may have the resource they need, and if we're not communicating, if we're not getting to know each other, how will we ever make that connection? And so I think that was the biggest part of that, and also is we wanted to have some inspiration there. We had some guest speakers like Antoine. He has a nice real estate business, and he's making some good money. He came and spoke to us one time, or a couple times actually, and he delivered, gave us a lot of good tips of what it means to really hustle, what it means to grind, and what it means to really just get out there and just make money and do it the right way, right? Not the bad way, but just that is inspiring, especially if you're starting your own business, especially if you're like, hey, I want to do something, but I don't know where to start. What better place in a community of people who you can talk to and ask questions like, hey, what did you do and how did you start? And, we could just be honest and like, hey, this is what we're doing, but, this is how we started. And that should give those individuals hope. Because I think a lack of our generation, too, is taking that action, right? Hey, we have these big goals and these big dreams, but
what are we going to do to achieve it?
Yeah, what actions are going to go behind it? And it's like, if we could inspire other people to just take a little bit more, take another step, right? Yeah. The next step is right here. Maybe we have that resource for them, right? Yep. I mean, that would impact our community in a tremendous way. So that's why we started it, was just to be a community of millennials to get together and to have it, just make it inspiring and just have a good
any walk of life, any hustle. It does not matter. We want to spread our blessing. What we think, our mindset on the certain things, and spread it to everybody. You're not alone in the entrepreneurial journey. Like we want what you want. So come on through and come check us out. And
you know what, you guys bring up a great point. Because of technology today, right? Yeah. Technology is so easily accessible, and communication is a little bit more easily accessible. A lot of people have gotten away from the traditional phone call, and they do what? They text message, right? And instead of communicating with somebody, they're going to post something. Like, I'm really happy about where I am and what I'm doing, but I'm not going to tell you that. I'm going to post it, right? So, Ari, talk to us just a little bit about how we have to modify that. We have to change that a little bit if we plan on building a successful business.
And in my opinion, I feel like you have to get uncomfortable. If you want to be successful, you have to be uncomfortable. So if you have to think about, okay, well, I'm a little bit afraid to call this person, so I'm just going to shoot them a text, get uncomfortable. Right. Because once you get uncomfortable and you call that person, you're going to be calling everybody in your phone. Yeah. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, what was I afraid of? Why do we have this fear? What are we afraid of? Right. If we believe in ourselves so much, why are we taking the easy way out? Because that's what limits our success. That's what limits our growth when we take that easy way out. So we have to eliminate the fear, free our mind and heart of doubt completely. And that's how you're going to grow to be successful. Don't just do the easy way out, because if it's the easy way out, it's probably not the right thing to do.
And there's two sides, true, right? So we have the human interaction, shaking hands, getting to know people, networking, meeting in person. But then we also have the social media aspect of it, where we can leverage that as a resource. And John, tell us a little bit about how you've been doing that to build your business.
So using social media is actually one of the biggest platforms that we have for anything that we want to share with our friends and family. Everybody takes to Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media it is to check on people and see how they're doing, right? A lot of people, I always see life update here, life update there, right? So as far as social media goes, I use it every day, right? I use social media every day to reach out to people and kind of see what they have going on, and any way that I can help them out in any kind of way, right? If somebody's feeling down and they express that on social media, like, I want to reach out and like, hey, like, times may be tough right now, but just keep working past it, because there's always better, right? And then for the fact of, building business, just showing people like what I got going on, all the big accolades that I'm achieving, and the new updates to the dress styles and everything like that. Like, I want to share with people because a lot of people know from the area that we came from. So if I can do it, you obviously can too. I'm not anything more special than you are, right? We came across the same circumstances, and you can make it as well. So that's how I like to shape my social media. I want to show everybody that they can do it. It doesn't matter what you got going on. Like, as long as you stay tough between the ears, you can do what you set your heart out to do.
That's right. And I know Adrian pioneered that process for us in the office.
Yeah.
Right. You are the social media expert and you've done training, not just for our office, but a lot of people are like, hey, Adrian, come teach us. Talk to us, Adrian, about how when you have a brand new person, you got a brand new stud like John Moultrie on your team, and you're like, hey, man, I know you're young. You probably don't know what we call a qualified market, married, homeowner, kids, income.
Right.
Talk to us about how you can help him leverage his social media to develop a market.
Well, like going back to what Ari was saying is that, if you have fear, then that's just going to stop you from doing anything. And even the same in social media. And like she was saying, what are we scared about? It's sending a message.
Right.
Like you're not even talking to them in person. Yeah. So it's like you don't even get to see their face and you're still scared of a message. It's like not really going to hurt you. It's just going to maybe hurt your pride a little bit. But that's it. Right. But I guess, somebody that, hey, let's say you're just trying to start a business. You don't really know a whole lot of people in person.
Right.
I mean, we've all accepted those friend requests just because somebody looked good, or hey, they had a family, or like, this guy's not a creeper, so I'll accept that friend request, right? Yep. Send them a message, right? Build a connection there, and try to meet up with them. Ask them for help. I think that's one big thing that we have is hey, I'm starting my own business. I know we haven't really met before, but I just want to get to know you a little bit more, show you exactly what I do. That way, if you know of anybody that needs my services, you know of anybody that really needs my help, you could, send them my way.
Right.
Forget about you in terms of helping me, but I just want to meet you, right? Just get to know you a little bit. And that's really, I think that's a big thing, is you could leverage social media in that manner. When they see your social media look professional, they see it like, hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that. And people are attracted to that stuff. Like, I mean, yesterday, Kym and I, we were not driving, but we got to ride in exotic vehicles. I'm a Lamborghini guy, so one of my dreams was is to get one, but obviously you got to ride in one first, and then, it kind of helps you get that step closer there. But, posting that on social media is big too, right? People are attracted to that. Like, how are you in an environment to where people that own those cars, right? People that have those vehicles or live in those homes, and it's cool just to be here. Like, if I wasn't here, I probably would have never had that opportunity for free. Right. We didn't have to pay anything. Right. So most people, they have to pay $300 to drive 3 laps, right? Exactly. Went in 2 vehicles, and it was cool, right? It was really cool. And so using social media in that manner just to explode your business, I think is just send out a message, right? Like their post, comment on a nice picture they have, and kind of create that connection.
Perfect. I love it. When we come back, we're going to go over overcoming objections and how to handle haters.
Ooh. Yeah.
For coming back to Lady Preneur-100. I am Kym Welton, host of Lady Preneur-100. I've got John Moultrie, Ari Spearman, and Adrian Moda. Going to just give a couple more shout outs. We got Alicia Smith on watching us. We've got Deontay Norman. Let's all give it up for Deontay. What's up, D?
Brother,
and of course, Andy Smith. She is an amazing lady here in Colorado Springs. Absolutely love Andy. And of course, Dean Snyder and Kiki Olsen.
Kiki. Do you love me? Sorry, had to.
And Alejandra Salazar, thank you so much. I also want to give a gentleman who I met yesterday. He is the owner of Colorado Food Products. Generous, kind, thoughtful man, Cesar Garduno. I want to give it up for him today, too. So before we go any further, we've all heard the term hater. Right. And I got to be honest with you, man, we've all had it. If you're trying to get ahead in life, if you're trying to do something different in life, they seem to come out of the woodworks. Yeah. Don't they? They try to talk you out of your dreams. They try to tell you that this is kind of silly. What are you doing? I knew the old Kym Welton or the old John Moultrie, and how do you think you're better than any of us, right? So how do you what do you say, Ari, when you got that one friend who you've known your whole life, that family member, that friend, that colleague, whatever, who's like, man, I'm just not down with what it is that you're doing. I don't believe in it.
For me, I've really been working on myself. So I've noticed that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what they think. It doesn't matter what they say. If you're talking about me behind my back, you're promoting me. You really are, and that's my mindset, and that's how I think. So I've come to not allow it to phase me, because this is what I want. This is where I plant my flag. This is what I'm going for. And if you're not going for it with me, then your opinion doesn't matter. That's right. And that's just the mindset that I've developed being in the business. And I've realized that a lot of people don't support you when you want them to, and you can't force somebody to do something that they don't want to do. I mean, I don't want somebody putting in their 2 cents when it's not positive, right? So why am I going to allow that to affect my next 2 steps? What I'm going to do next? So haters, keep hating because I love it. I love it because that's what I thrive on. I thrive on haters. I love it.
I love it too. I don't know. It makes me like, I'll show you. I've got that I'll show you personality anyway, so I'm always sassy as it is. But I've got I want to give a little bit of a shout out, but there's a great example here of Kyle and Kelly Petty's, right? Aren't they amazing people?
Amazing.
They have 3 thriving businesses. Kelly is the owner and founder of Dear Madam Walker right there on Dublin and Academy. And I got to tell you, I mean, she's just an example for people who are getting after it. She doesn't care what people say. Nope. She's going to go on and she's going to do what she needs to do, right? She has 2 boys and an amazing husband who owns a tax service and a financial investment company. So it's like, what if they would have listened to all those people that said that's not for you? Right? But now we have some strong leaders in our community who have built multiple businesses for, what is it, their legacy. Right? So, John, talk to us about, have you had any haters?
I've had quite a few, actually.
Low key or like
low key, high key. Some people, would take straight to a post, like a post where I'm posting some accomplishments and, they're twisting it up like, oh, that doesn't make sense or that doesn't matter. You're not, that company's this, that company's that. This, what you're doing doesn't, and I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is a post about me and what I got going on. Like, so it's great that you're talking about me, like that's cool, just keep spreading that. But, like, it's tough sometimes, like when it's a friend like that, a couple friends that's near and dear to your heart, you spent, years developing your friendship in high school and, still continue to hang out after high school, right? Then, everybody starts working and whatnot. So, you don't have the same amount of time with them.
Yep.
But, so then you reach out, like every now and again, like, we'll go together, we'll go waste money, spend money, drinking, doing this, doing that. But, then when it comes to the time where I'm like, I'm tired, enough is enough. Like, I want to do something better in my life. It's not the same kind of energy. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, I got too much going on or, oh, this and this. And then, it's just the fact that they can talk about what you do, talk about your hustle, like what you got going on, and then not even really know, what it is what it is, like, you're going to sit here and tell me that, you know better than I do, right? Because you talk to other people or you looked on the internet or, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, so I'm them, right? I'm them to you. Like, we're the same people.
And you know what? If you don't have haters, you haven't done enough.
Exactly.
McDonald's has haters. Microsoft has haters. Apple has haters. You know what? I think we're okay.
Exactly.
You know what? Because here's the thing. It's not your failures that they fear for you.
Right.
It's the success that they know you'll achieve. And that's what really scares them is like, you know what, man, John Moultrie, he might really do it. He's going to get out. He's going to be great. He's going to do something. And so instead of lifting you up, they're going to try to pull you back, right? So, Adrian, talk to us. I know you've been around for a few minutes now in this industry, and just around you've been around, helping build your church, right?
Yeah.
And you've had, haters too. Talk to us, man, about what do you do to manage that?
Yeah, so I go to a church here in town, Calvary Chapel East Side, and shout out to Taylor Dotson, who's watching. He and I go to the same church. He has some goals to have a coffee shop, and I believe he can do it. So just getting that into play, and got some other people like my aunt's watching, so great too. She's an entrepreneur as well. But building a church, right? Mm-hmm. So I've been in my church my whole life. I'm a very committed person, so I don't leave the things that I start, and it's been cool. Like growing up, I've been gifted with worship as one of my spiritual gifts, and so I've been growing up just walking in that, and it's been great to kind of see how the years go on, how God has been really fine-tuning my gifts there. So now I lead the worship at Calvary Chapel Eastside. I've been on the worship team for years now, and what's great about being in that part of leadership is that you have to understand that just only 20% of the people will do the work. Mm-hmm. And I believe that is in everything you do. 20% of the people will do the work, the others won't do so much. Hey, they may contribute here and there, but they're just not those committed people, those people that find, fulfillment in helping out. So I guess a key part about, building up your church is, or anything really, is finding those key people. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't, then you're never going to get anywhere, to be honest, right? Mm-hmm. I guess because I'm in worship, I can really only speak on that part. Is I have a great worship team. I mean, God has blessed us with a really good worship team. The people on this worship team, they're committed individuals. And what's great is that some of them step forward, some of them you had to talk to, like kind of find, hey, who are you? What type of person are you? Mm-hmm. One of them, our violin, electric guitar player, and mandolin player. Mm-hmm. He plays 3 instruments. It's crazy. I met him at our church men's Bible study, and he's a very quiet guy. I never seen him before, but apparently he's been going to our church for a while. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get to know this guy. Mm-hmm. Asked him some questions. Hey, where are you from? What do you like doing? You play any instruments? I'm asking like key questions. Right. And he's like, yeah, I play the violin. And I immediately invited him to come to our practice. And in that being said is I found a key person. Like, he's committed. Mm-hmm. He's someone willing to do the work. Lo and behold, he went to school for music, but he just needed somebody to kind of invite him. Right. Invite him. And I think that's in everything. If you're building a business, hey, if you know somebody that hey, they work hard. Hey, they carry themselves in a professional manner. Talk to them. Hey, have you ever thought about doing something else? Or, hey, I want you to come work in my business and join me in my business. I want you to be a business partner.
Right. You got to have thick skin. You can't just let people kind of bulldoze you, right? Yeah. You got to be able to, when people are saying negative things about business or my business, I'm like, man, who are you?
Exactly.
Like, that's like talking about my church, man. You don't do that. I wouldn't come up in your business and start talking bad about what it is that you do for a living to provide for your family. Mm-hmm. I take that personal. And I think a lot of people, when they're starting out in a business or they're getting into a new industry, they're already intimidated. Like, I don't know everything yet. But then people want to start talking about it like they have some right. Here's a rule of thumb. I never take advice from people who aren't in life where I want to be or don't have the things I want to possess.
Period.
Right.
So why would I even listen to you? Man, last time I checked, you were serving burgers back there at McDonald's, which is cool if that's how you provide, but don't talk about me about trying to rise up. Right?
Exactly.
And so I think, again, all work is honorable, no matter where you work, as long as you're ethical, honest, and hardworking. Like you said, 20%ers, right? 80% do, stuff here and there, but the 20%ers, they do the majority of the work. And no matter what you've chosen in life to do, don't hate on anybody else's dream.
Right.
That's the bottom line, right? So I noticed that, a lot of people, they get very emotionally impacted when somebody says, man, Ari, I just don't know if this is for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? Or have you ever second questioned it? Yeah.
All the time. It does happen to me all the time. But like I said, I plant my flag here. Nobody else has control of my flag. So how can you tell me? How can you tell me? Yeah. And it doesn't matter who it is. Family, friends. It doesn't matter who it is. If you don't believe, I need you to take a back seat and watch. Right. Don't believe me, just watch. Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's all it is. You can't allow somebody to proofread your vision. Yeah. You can't ask a blind person to proofread your vision.
Right.
Period.
And I
that's
love
the
that.
mindset you have to wake up with it. You have to walk with it. You have to go to sleep with it. You got to eat with it. You know, I'm not going to allow these blind people to proofread my vision.
Good.
Right.
Good.
They have no control over my success in the first place. You know,
Right.
either if you're supportive or not, you know, I'm gonna make it regardless. You know, it doesn't matter if you're in my corner or you're not in my corner. You know, that's just another person I'm gonna just go ahead and jump right over real quick. You know, so you know, either way it goes, you know, like I love my friends and family, but you know, like you said, you got to take a back seat for this ride if you don't support. So
Right. And one of the terms that Mario Arizon has used, and we all know who Mario is. He's a huge, huge influence in our lives. But one of the things he said, because I was like, man, my friends, they're just not down. They're not cool to help. And my family, they just kind of think I'm maybe arrogant, or they're just, you know, I don't know what it is. But what he said was, when you're building a business, now if you get a JOB, right, a just over broke, which is okay. Right. If you get a JOB, which I've had several of, so again, it's honorable work.
Yep.
But I was never going to be wealthy there. Yeah. If I had a job, they would have congratulated me all day long because I was just common. And okay, that's cool. I had to provide for my family. I had a job for 22 years. But as soon as I said, I really want to do more, I want to have more, I want to leave more, I want to be more impactful, I want to lead a life of giving.
Yep.
You know, giving is living, and I can't do that
For
as
real.
an employee where I was. And so when I went to the people who I thought would really have my back, they didn't.
Yeah.
And Mario said, you know, you have friends and family, and you have acquaintances and relatives.
Yeah.
Right.
And when you're trying to build a business, you realize who your acquaintances and relatives are, right?
Yeah.
And the people who love you no matter what, they're gonna have your back. Bills, they should have my back no matter what. And so we're gonna go into the tail end of our final segment here. But I want each of you to talk about how they can find you.
So I have. You can find me on Instagram. I'm still figuring out Twitter, so that's pending. Twitter's pending right now, but you can find me on Instagram, Johnny Johny Draco DRAKO.o. Sorry, and then also my Facebook on John Moultrie on Facebook. You can reach out to me there on Instagram, and you know, we'll be in touch for sure.
All right. How can we find you?
I'm not huge on social media, but I'm working on it. Especially with my two business partners here. But Ari Spearman on Facebook. I also have an Instagram as well, Ari Spearman, and Youth Entrepreneurs Club. Meetup.com. You can also find me there.
And Spearman spelled SPEARMON.
Yes.
Adrian, talk to us. How can we find you?
So on Facebook, you could just type my name, Adrian Mota, and on Instagram, it's Mota, M-O-T-A, and then Vader, V-A-D-E-R, all lowercase, and then 94. For my Hispanic friends, I didn't pick my last name, so but hey, it's pretty cool. But my Snapchat is private, so there's a story behind it, and nobody else needs to know until you're in that circle. But yeah, that's how you can find me there.
And so, just our final shout out to the folks that have joined us in the last few minutes. We got Brandon Martins, who is the new father of twins. He's got
Brandon,
two.
shout out Brandon.
Shout out
beautiful
Brandon,
babies,
amazing
beautiful
guy.
family.
Angel Cleary, also another
Angel.
extraordinary leader in our community. And Misty Matters, give it up, you guys, for Misty
Misty.
Matters.
Misty.
Always
Shout
so
out to Misty.
supportive and
Always.
kind. And you guys, it has been a distinct pleasure sitting here with you guys. I've watched you guys grow and watching your businesses develop. I've watched Adrian now for 5 years. I knew him. He was very mature and he was very thoughtful. But the industry that we're in, it could be a little bit intimidating.
Yep.
Anytime you are building a business, that could be a little bit intimidating, right? But this guy didn't flinch, man. He is building an empire, as are you two. And I just want to thank you for being on the Lady Preneur-100 show for this Millennial Entrepreneurship Talk.
Thank you.
Thank you for your venture philanthropy, and thank you for being incredible members of our community. Yeah. The Young Entrepreneur Club on meetup.com. Don't forget to check them out.
Don't forget.
And join them. There's so much that you can learn, and surround yourselves by these winners. I am your host of Lady Preneur-100. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're listening to Lady Preneur 100 on Success Radio USA.